This is Money Hacks USA, where smart money moves are made simple. Picture a 13-year-old boy stepping off a ship from Scotland with nothing but a few coins in his pocket and a fierce determination to lift his family out of crushing poverty. That boy was Andrew Carnegie, and his journey from a tiny one-room cottage in Dunfermline to becoming one of the richest men in history is one of the most powerful true stories in American business. Born in 1835 to a struggling weaver father whose trade collapsed with the rise of factories, young Andrew watched his mother take in sewing and sell vegetables just to keep food on the table. At age 13 he arrived in Pittsburgh and immediately went to work in a cotton mill for 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, earning just over $1. The exhaustion was brutal, yet every night he read books borrowed from a generous local man and dreamed of something bigger. Carnegie never forgot those early years of hunger and humiliation. Instead, he turned every hardship into fuel. His story proves that starting with nothing is not a barrier but often the very spark that forges unbreakable drive and creative thinking about money. Carnegie began his American life in the dim, noisy confines of a Pittsburgh cotton mill where child laborers worked long shifts amid choking dust and dangerous belts. The family lived in a cramped Allegheny City apartment with no indoor plumbing and barely enough coal to stay warm. His mother's relentless work ethic and his own refusal to accept permanent poverty shaped his early mindset. After the mill he moved to a telegraph office as a messenger boy, memorizing every street in the city so he could deliver messages faster than anyone else. Soon he was promoted to telegraph operator, teaching himself the code and staying late to practice. These small steps taught him the value of relentless self-education and showing up earlier and working harder than everyone around him. Even while earning pennies, Carnegie began saving tiny amounts and looking for any chance to invest rather than merely survive. His humble beginnings instilled a lifelong habit of turning every dollar into an opportunity for growth instead of comfort. The years of struggle tested Carnegie severely. His father died young, leaving the family even more vulnerable. Working on the railroads exposed him to long hours, bitter winters, and the constant threat of injury or job loss during economic panics. Yet Carnegie used every connection and observation to learn how railroads actually made money. He watched iron bridges replace wooden ones and realized the future belonged to steel. During the Civil War he served as a military telegraph supervisor, gaining insight into logistics and large-scale organization. These experiences reinforced his belief that knowledge and bold positioning during hard times create lasting wealth. Instead of complaining about low wages, he studied the men who succeeded above him and copied their discipline. The poverty and setbacks never broke him, they sharpened his focus on creating value that others would pay for handsomely. The turning point came when Carnegie recognized that iron and steel would power America's explosive growth. After the war he invested his savings in iron works and bridges, then traveled to England to study the new Bessemer steel process. He returned convinced that steel would replace iron for rails, buildings, and machines. With borrowed money and partners he built the Edgar Thomson Steel Works near Pittsburgh, choosing a location with cheap river transport and nearby coal. His relentless focus on cutting costs while improving quality allowed his mills to underprice competitors. This calculated risk transformed him from a capable railroad man into a steel magnate almost overnight. Carnegie proved that spotting an emerging industry and committing fully with both capital and management skill can multiply modest savings into enormous fortunes. Carnegie's rise accelerated as he vertically integrated every part of steel production, owning mines, railroads, and mills. He hired brilliant managers, paid them well, and demanded efficiency. During economic downturns he bought struggling competitors at low prices instead of cutting his own production. By the 1890s his Carnegie Steel Company produced more steel than all of Great Britain. The company's profits soared because Carnegie constantly reinvested earnings into better technology rather than lavish personal spending. He lived modestly compared with his wealth, focusing every resource on dominating the market. This disciplined approach to business growth turned a former messenger boy into the wealthiest industrialist of his era. At its peak, Carnegie's empire stretched across Pennsylvania with dozens of mills and thousands of workers. In 1901, he sold the entire operation to J.P. Morgan for $480 million, creating U.S. Steel and making Carnegie the richest man in the world at that time. Rather than cling to power, he stepped aside at the height of success, demonstrating that knowing when to exit can be as important as building the business. The sale gave him the capital to pursue his next chapter, proving that empires built on value creation can be converted into lasting impact beyond the original industry. Carnegie spent the final 2 decades of his life giving away nearly all his fortune. He funded over 2,500 public libraries across the United States and the world, built Carnegie Hall, established the Carnegie Institution for Science, and created pension funds for teachers and steel workers. His Gospel of Wealth essay argued that the rich have a duty to return surplus wealth to society in ways that help people help themselves. This systematic philanthropy changed American education and culture forever. Carnegie's legacy shows that the ultimate measure of wealth is not what you keep but what you strategically give back to create opportunity for generations after you. Andrew Carnegie's life teaches that relentless self-education, bold positioning during industry shifts, and disciplined reinvestment of profits can turn the humblest start into extraordinary wealth. The same principles apply today. Start saving and investing early, study growing industries, and treat every dollar as a tool for future leverage rather than immediate comfort. Subscribe to Money Hacks USA for more true stories that turn mindset into money. Do not save what is left after spending, spend what is left after saving. Warren Buffett.